Hi everyone, this tutorial is to show you how to do shift share analysis in Excel using data that you've picked up from the Census Bureau or from the Bureau of Labor Statistics in employment. Let's look quickly at the equations used for shift share, and then I'll show you how to do a shift share analysis in Excel. So this is the basic formula for shift share. It's just addition and subtraction, so nothing to be concerned about. Delta EI is the change in employment in a particular industry, I. So the change in employment in a particular industry is equal to the employment in that industry in the most recent year that you're looking at, T, minus the employment in that industry in the first year you're looking at. Here it's T minus 1, it could be T minus 10, T minus 2. It doesn't matter, you just need two different years of data. So that's pretty clear. Change in employment is just change in employment in the different years between the 2 years you're looking at. This change in employment is made up of three numbers: the change due to national employment trends, the change due to the industrial mix in the region, and the change due to what's going on in the region, the local conditions, and maybe what your region has an advantage in or a disadvantage in. So how do we calculate each of these parts? Here's the equation for the national share. You start with the employment in the region in a particular industry, I, for the first year you're looking at, and multiply it by the growth rate here of national employment in all industries. Small e means employment in the region, while big E means employment in the nation. And you add the I when you're talking about a particular industry, and the T just tells you the year. So this growth rate here is just a percentage change, very straightforward. It's just total national employment in all industries in the most recent year minus total national employment in all industries in the first year divided by total national employment in all industries in the first year. Next is the equation for the industrial mix share. Again, you take the regional employment in a particular industry for the first year and multiply it by a difference in growth rates. So the national employment growth rate for that industry minus the national employment growth rate for all industries. Again, these growth rates are just percentage changes. The employment number in the most recent year minus the employment number in the first year divided by the employment number in the first year. Finally, the equation for the regional shift. Once again, you take the regional employment in the selected industry and multiply it by another difference: the regional employment growth rate for that industry minus the national employment growth rate for that industry, the industry you're looking at. Again, these growth rates are just percentage changes, number from the recent year minus the number from the first year over the number from the first year. In all three calculations, you're taking your regional employment in a certain industry from the first year of your data and multiplying it by a growth rate or a difference in growth rates. Let's do the calculations in Excel. First, you need to set up your data. I used the same data that's used in the tool, which can be downloaded from the acknowledgments section. My county is Blue Earth County in Minnesota, where my grandparents used to live. I decided to do the shift share analysis using 2000 and 2010 as my 2 points in time. I set up the spreadsheet by first listing employment by sector for the nation here, and then for my county. I calculated a couple of other numbers, such as the percentage change in employment for each sector, here and here, to give me an idea of the overall changes in the last decade. Now to calculate the shift share. First, we're going to start with the national share. You want the county employment from 2000 in the first industry, natural resources and mining, multiplied by the percent change of total national employment taken from these numbers. So in Excel, equals the county employment from 2000 multiplied by a percent change. So you take the total employment in all industries in 2010 in the United States, and we have to make these numbers fixed references in Excel, or else Excel will choose from columns that go below the data that we actually have. So if you want to make these fixed references, you have to stick $signs before the letter and the number. In Windows, you can do that easily by pressing F4. So we have total employment in 2010 minus total employment in 2000 divided by, oh, and we have to make this a fixed reference, divided by total employment in 2000 as a fixed reference. And that gets you your national share. Next is the industrial mix. So again, you take the county employment from 2000 in natural resources and mining, the first industry we're looking at, and multiply it by the national growth rate for natural resources and mining taken from these numbers, minus the national growth rate for all industries taken from these numbers. So in Excel equals the county employment in natural resources and mining multiplied by a difference in percentage changes. So the first percentage change is the national employment in natural resources and mining. So the total employment in 2010 in that industry minus the total employment in 2000 in that industry divided by the total employment in 2000 in that industry. And now we're going to subtract the second percent change. And that you take from the total employment in all industries in the United States. And make sure you include your parentheses. Minus the total employment in all industries in 2000 in the United States, divided by the total employment in all industries in 2000 in the United States. Now we have to make the second percent change fixed reference numbers so that Excel won't move around the cells that it uses. Add parentheses, and we're set. And then you get the number for the industrial mix. And finally, we'll calculate the regional shift or local share. Again, you take the county employment from 2000 in natural resources and mining and multiply it by the county growth rate for natural resources and mining taken from these numbers, minus the national growth rate for natural resources and mining taken from these numbers. So in Excel equals the county employment in natural resources and mining from 2000 times the difference in two percentage changes. So the first percentage change, you take the total employment in natural resources and mining in the county from 2010 minus the total employment in natural resources and mining in the county in 2000 divided by the employment in that industry in 2000 for the county. Now we do the second percentage change, which is the total employment in 2010 in natural resources and mining in the whole United States, making sure our parentheses are correct, minus the total employment in natural resources and mining in 2000 in the United States, divided by the total employment in natural resources and mining in 2000 in the United States. And if you have your parentheses correct, you'll get the right answer. Now here you do not have to make these cells fixed references in Excel, because when you're taking the regional shift, you're going to be moving through, Excel will be moving through all the columns, and you don't need to set up any fixed cells for Excel to use. And here you get the number for regional shift. So in your analysis of the natural resources and mining industry here, you get a negative number for the national share, a positive number for the industry mix that's larger, and a negative number for the regional shift. When you add all of those numbers together, as I'm going to do here, you get the total employment change from 2000 to 2010, which you can see if you go back to the numbers here. If you subtract 2000 data from 2010, 397 minus 394, you end up with a change of 3 in employment, which is exactly the number you get from summing the national share, industrial mix, and regional shift. That's how you can check your answers. To finish up, Because you've set up your formulas in the first industry with fixed reference cells, you can copy those formulas down the columns and calculate the same numbers of national share, industry mix, and regional shift for all of your industries. So let's do that quickly, and you can calculate the sums. And when you do that, you can compare the numbers between all of your industries and check to make sure your sums of the three components equal the difference in employment from between 2010 and 2000. And that's shift share analysis.